First of all, welcome back to Dallas Fort Worth.
Thank
How long
you.
has it been?
I don't know.
In a minute.
I don't remember where I go.
Yeah.
Was I here on the Songversation tour? Okay, I was here in 2013.
Okay, so
I
it's
did
been
a
a couple
show
of years.
Here, yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, because I think you were on with Steve Harvey when he came out here. Did a show with him, I believe, I think a couple of years ago.
Did I? Gosh, I don't remember.
So you do so many shows.
Wait a minute. Where did we record Christmas with Friends? Houston or Dallas? Okay, sorry, I get them mixed up.
You know what? It's okay because everybody does.
Yes,
Everybody
two big
gets
cities.
Two big cities
Yeah.
close together.
Yeah.
But we're excited to have you back here.
Thank you.
We're excited about this Christmas project.
Thank you.
And, of course, Joe Sample. What can you say about that and that collaboration?
And so I was here in 2013 and 14 recording with him.
Okay.
No, that's not true. You know what? I'm getting my years mixed up.
It's okay.
Seriously, because this album came together in such an interesting way that like all of 2014 just was different.
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, working with him was a dream, an actual dream come true because I've been listening to his music all my life.
Right.
And first of all, I never really realized I could be a professional singer. And so then everything that happened after that is like, what? They know me and Stevie Wonder knows me. And like everything is like, what? All the time.
Wow.
And so the fact that he knew who I was and then said yes that he would work with me is like quadruple wow. Like, because you don't even get to be in the room with a lot of icons or legends. You don't even get to be in the room with them. So then to be able to record with him was an actual dream come true.
That is awesome. You know, and it's funny you say that because on the outside looking in, if I'm looking at Joe Sample and looking at a legend, I would say, well, of course he would want to work with India.arie. Who wouldn't? And you may not look at it like that, but those of us that love music and that love you and that love your music and that have followed you for so many years, I would see Natalie Cole wanting to work with you. I would see Smokey Robinson wanting to work.
I actually have worked with Smokey Robinson.
You have? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I would easily see all of these legends wanting to work with you because you're an amazing artist yourself.
Thank you. I'm learning to just ask. The Joe Sample Project taught me to just ask. You know, and then there's a whole nother conversation about self-worth. Not that my self-worth is low, but you don't ever really think of yourself that high. Like, of course, Joe Sample would, you know, I don't think of it that way, you know? But I'm learning to just ask. And actually, with Christmas with Friends, there's a lot of guest appearances. And I realize now it could have been triple that. Like, nobody said no. And I just did not think of that at all. I thought it was going to be kind of hard. Let's try to get there. And everybody just said yes and did it. So I would like to do that again.
Well, can you tell me about working with Kim and Brandy as well?
Well, first of all, Brandy has been one of my favorite singers since I was a teenager. She's just a few years younger than me, but she was so young when she came out and her voice was so, not just mature, but she had an ear.
Okay.
That Brandy thing, you know, like people don't look at vocalists all the time as musicians, but we are musicians because there's a way you have to, somehow your brain comes up with what you want to sing. Right. And so Brandy has that special way of creating these vocal landscapes that now is a thing that other people do.
Right.
There's a Brandy sound. And so I've loved her for a really long time. And we were talking on the phone and, you know, I was apologizing for not calling her back sooner. And I said, well, you know, I was working on my Christmas album. And she was like, is it done? Well, it's not done until I do something on there. And I was like, because I've been wanting to sing with Brandy since I was 19.
Wow.
And so she did Silent Night and again surprised me with her take. Like the notes she chose was not just the regular harmony, a higher harmony. It was the Brandy thing. It just made it all that more beautiful. So then there's Joe Sample, me, and Brandy on a very slow, very poignant, very sensual version of Silent Night.
Wow.
Like, I'm not trying to sell Christmas with Friends. I'm really just being honest about what it sounds like.
I believe you.
And so then also with Kim, I met him at the Essence Festival. Okay. And I don't know, have you ever interviewed Kim?
I have.
He's just very straight guy, very straightforward.
So you can imagine our interview, and we're talking about Friends with Benefits with Kim. So you can.
I would wonder what he said. I would love to hear what he said.
I have to play it for you sometime.
I would love to. I just said, will you be on my Christmas project? And he said yes, and I believed him because he's very straightforward.
Right.
And then he called the next day and said, India asked me, and you know, he called our label, and I want to make sure we get that done. And I just thought that's amazing. Like, that's amazing that he really said yes on the spot and really wanted to.
Right.
And to be honest, because his voice is, I wasn't sure how our voices would sound together. Because I have a lot of air and he's like a horn. He sounds like a horn and I have like air. And I didn't know. But he said yes. I'm like, it's Kim, so we're going to make this work. But when he sent his vocal, I was stunned by how wonderful we sound together. I was stunned. It's like a man and a woman singing a beautiful song. It didn't sound like two singers trying to fit, or it sounded like a man and a woman. And he made me happy. Like, and a matter of fact, I was so surprised by how much I liked it that I didn't get it at first. I played it one time and I was like, that was good. And then 30 minutes later, I played it again. Like, wait a minute, no. This is great. This is crazy. And then I texted Kim, listen here. This is crazy. I don't ever exaggerate about music. Like, I just tell the truth about music. That's that one place in my life where I always tell the truth. I was like, I love this. And he was like, oh, thanks. I was like, no, you don't hear me. Like, and then it was all caps. I love this.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point times 12.
Right.
So that was a surprise for me.
That's awesome. I always wondered if you have one style. Like you said, you're very airy, and he's the style that you mentioned.
That pointed.
I always wondered if you knew ahead of time that, you know, you don't think this is going to mesh well, or you do think, or you just put it in there and hope for the best. I always wondered if singers or artists got together and compared styles to see if that would actually work well in a project, or if it just comes together.
There are probably some people who are calculated like that. I'm not. Okay. I try to work with anyone that I like. And I feel like if I like them, there's something in there where we'll meet. And I just do it. Like with the Michael McDonald song that's on Christmas with Friends.
I listened to that last night.
Amazing. And then he went so strong. Like you could almost call it over the top in certain moments.
Right.
But I just went back in the studio and matched my vocal to his.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to ask him to change anything.
Right.
At all.
Right.
So I just matched mine to his the best I could.
That is awesome. So you said you could have worked with so many people on here because everybody with ease said yes to you. Who else would you want to work with at this point, India?
A lot of people. Okay. A lot of people. That just got me excited.
I have a special request too, but go ahead.
Oh, what's your request?
You know what? I have not heard from Donnie in a while. And so you have to fill me in. So I still want to know who else you want to work with, but I loved when you guys got together before. I saw you perform so many times, and it seems like you guys have an amazing chemistry. So you have to tell me about him and where he is and what he's doing. But
so I want to get into this relationship part because I cannot wait to see what you're going to ask me. But I want to say this.
Okay.
I think that soulmates, like people use soulmate to mean like a romantic partner, and I think it can be. But I think a soulmate is someone you are born to interact with in this lifetime. And Donnie and I are soulmates. Like we spent several of our formative years together. I haven't seen him in a really long time, but we have this connection, and I would love to just see him again. Period. There's a whole lot more backstory behind that.
Okay.
But like our youth could be a movie, not just Donnie and I, but everyone surrounding that era. Anthony David.
Yes.
Like it could be a movie. We had a really interesting decade in our 20s.
Yeah.
And so when you brought up his name, it just made me feel really nostalgic.
Wow.
But to answer your question, I would love to sing with Layla Hathaway.
Oh, yes.
I would love to sing with Willie Nelson. That vocal tone is just comforting. I would love to sing with James Taylor. James Taylor and Stevie Wonder were always my favorite things. I would love to sing with Joe. Molly Music. I'm into him right now.
Yeah.
I would love to sing with Leanne LaHavas. I would love to sing with, there's like nobody I wouldn't almost. I would love to sing with, Tamar Braxton.
Right.
I would love to sing with Kim Burrell. And there's almost nobody. I want to record something again with Stevie. I want to do something with Prince. I want to do something with, there's almost no one I wouldn't.
I'm sorry.
No, there's no one I wouldn't want to.
I could just picture a group now with yourself, Layla Hathaway, and Brandy, because you all have that tone where you're going to have that. People
would be under the chair. They would just be on the floor, just.
I'd be the first one under the
Me
chair.
too. I'd be like, okay, playback. I don't know if I could
exactly.
do it. But at least one song. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing.
With Michelle Ndegeocello cello on bass.
I'm through.
Esperanza Spalding. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
And that's one of my questions. I asked Kim, I asked Joe recently as well. If you had to put a group together, who would be in that group?
Layla Layla, Brandy, Erica, Janelle, and Jill.
Oof. That's killer. That's killer right there.
Lettucey and Marsha Ambrosius.
Ooh.
Boom. That'd be some harmonies, and somebody could take the high parts and somebody could take the low parts.
We wouldn't be able to digest it. Yeah. We wouldn't be able to handle that.
That's why there's groups like that don't exist. I think it's good for our mental well-being so we don't just lose our minds.
Yeah. Have you ever wanted to? I interviewed Keith Sweat, and of course, he was the big reason for LSG because he always wanted to be a part of a group.
Right.
Is that something that you ever wanted to do or ever thought about?
Yes. I'm thinking about everything these days. Because I went through this whole decade where I was just trying to get my career to work out, and I was touring a lot and tired a lot and growing, being 20 and being 30.
Right.
And now I just want to try things.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this Christmas album came about, because I was like, Joe Sample's standing right there. I'm just going to ask him.
Yeah.
I just want to do things, but I would love to be part of a group. I don't know. Did you see the Stevie Wonder tribute on NBC?
No, I didn't.
So Janelle Monáe and Jill Scott and I sang Always together.
I've got to go YouTube that right now.
It was ridiculous. Like really, really, it was ridiculous. And we all backstage kept saying, we need to be a group. What would our name be? Power Girl, Supergirl. Like we just coming to all these names.
Right.
I would love to do something like that. Even just 5 songs.
Yeah.
I was with Ruben Studdard the other day.
Ruben.
I love that guy. Yeah, I love that guy. But we started thinking about, what if we did a love song EP? And then we started throwing out songs, and now we're texting, like, what about this song? What about that song? Like, I would just love to do a lot of things.
And then have Kirk on the sax, right?
Ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you mentioned, because, we talked about these relationship topics, and you mentioned soulmate. And that's one of my biggest topics. We've done it 3 or 4 times in The Quiet Storm. And if you believe in that. And so you mentioned it, that you do believe in that, because you talked about you and Donnie. So that is a word or a term that you do believe in, to a point?
I believe in the word. I don't believe in the way that people define it always. I don't think it's just romantic relationships. I think your parents are your soulmate. If you came to earth to be with anybody, it's your parents.
Right.
And I think other things, times when you have significant interactions with people, I think those are your soulmates. Right. And they can be lifelong or not, or romantic or not. But I also think that when it is romantic, I think that person is coming not to be like a romantic movie where it's beautiful and everything's good and your life was bad and then they came and they fixed it. I don't think that's what a romantic soulmate is. I think a romantic soulmate is someone who comes to teach you things, and learning lessons inside of romantic relationships is hard. And that does not mean that person is not your soulmate. In fact, I think it means they are. If there's somebody who's in front of you that you are willing to do the work on yourself for, that's your soulmate.
Says a lot. That speaks volumes.
Has anybody given that answer? That was a good one.
No one has given. I can play all of these shows back, and no one has given that answer, India.
I think about this a lot. Relationship conversation is my favorite.
We do it every night on the show. So
dang, I want to be on here again.
Whenever you're in Dallas, please feel free. You have an open invitation.
Okay.
Long distance relationships. You travel. You do a lot of shows. How tough is that? And do you think they can really work at the end of the day, or do 2 people really have to be there with each other all the time?
When it comes down to relationships, I don't believe in have to. I think there are all kinds of different ways to have relationships. I myself personally am more traditional. I know people have open relationships, long distance relationships where they want a lot of space and they can live in the same house and still like a lot of space, or all different types of things. But I think if people want that traditional thing where you build a life with someone, that you obviously need to be in the same city, at least.
Right.
In the same house, maybe. You could live in 2 separate houses. I kind of see myself as that person. Like if I got married, maybe we have 2 houses, but whatever. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Right. But I also think that, you know this whole terminology, catfishing?
Yes.
Like I'm just learning what this means, right?
Yeah.
And so that show Catfish on MTV, I think long distance relationships always have an element of catfishing. Because you never really know a person. And then there are places in your brain, because you're human, that are going to make up things about people. You don't even know you're making it up. You're just seeing what you see.
Right.
And then you're mad at them because they're not what your brain saw, and you didn't even know that your brain was seeing this thing, right? So you're mad at them for not being what you assumed they were. And I think that's always going to bring heartbreak. But what if you got with the person and you really got to know them and then it worked out? So maybe it could. But I still think there's an element of catfishing in every long distance relationship, because you're always your best when you only talk to a person long distance, or when you only Skyping.
Right.
You're going to make sure the angle's right and that you have on the right shirt and whatever. So
absolutely.
I wouldn't say I don't think they work. I think it depends on what you want. But if you want something that's a real relationship, I don't think long distance works.
Okay.
I think it can be entertaining. And if you just want entertainment, that's cool.
All right. So a little shock value now. Is there anything considered off limits to NDRE in the bedroom?
I really was like, this is not going to be shocking. Nothing shocks me.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But that is shocking. It's not shocking to me. It's a counter to my aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I've ever even strung those words together.
But I like how you did that, though.
I think certain things are private.
Yeah.
And I think bedroom is private. And this is now where I want to talk about music for a second.
Okay.
One of the things that disappoints me about the culture of Black music is that now things are getting more and 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 more explicit. More and more and more and more. Because then, the boundary gets pushed, and then now it's like really explicit.
Yeah.
And I'm worried to see how far it can go. Like, it worries me.
Right.
And it disappoints me, because I feel like people do it, they're explicit even when they don't have to be.
Right.
You're just doing it. You're just saying things. And I think there's a difference in sexy and explicit.
Right. I agree.
But I think behind closed doors, what you want to do is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And of course I have my limits. Of course I do.
Sure.
I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I have my limits. But my main limit is respect.
Right.
That's my main limit. Like, don't be disrespectful. I don't think anybody should disrespect people, period. But when you're vulnerable like that with someone, don't be disrespectful.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Understood.
But ask me something really shocking.
So that wasn't talking about. I thought that was really going to get you. You're like, that ain't nothing.
I do want to say something.
Please do.
Because you brought up the friends with benefit question with Kim.
Yes.
And I think about that sometimes, because let me tell you what I think.
Oh, I'm ready.
I think people call it friends with benefits because they need a way to make it work inside their brains. But I really think it's benefits with friends. And you're pretending to be a person's friend because you want this other thing.
No one has ever said that.
Like, I've been thinking about that. Because if person really was your friend, you'd be more careful with your friendship. Because, you cross certain boundaries and it makes a friendship hard. But if this is working, this really benefits with friends. And the other thing is, I think friends with benefits is a relationship. Because if that's your friend, if that's your boy, and you guys are comfortable also going there, you're in a relationship, because that's what relationships are. It's your friend and your lover.
Right.
But I think the other thing we talk about is benefits with friends.
And then they try to go back, and once they realize that they ruined the friendship, and then they try to go back and get the friendship back, and it's too late.
It never works.
It doesn't work
because
like
you weren't friends in the first place. Because if you were friends, you would have been more careful with your friendship.
Wow.
If you really valued the friendship, I mean.
Right.
That's what I think.
So you said a lot that no one has not said.
I love this conversation. This is what I do. I talk.
Do you have a blog or something, or do you on social media? Do you do any type of?
I'm glad you asked that. I blog a little bit, but there's something I've done since May that I'm very proud of, actually, and I did it under the radar on purpose. But I'm gonna whole nother conversation. It was under the radar for now, but I'm just now letting people know. But I wrote a 200-page essay. It's called "Songversation. I Am Light." It's about a lot of things. It's too much to even go into to explain you everything it's about. But it was sparked by the skin bleaching allegation thing. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Right.
Completely forgot about it, but yeah.
Right, because it was dumb.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful in that it opened me up to start speaking about things. It's a lot of things I wanted to say. It's a lot of things I just wanted to say. I don't address relationship stuff in these essays, but I could write a whole nother set of essays about relationship stuff. Wow. I really could. But it's on my website.
Okay.
My website is soulbird.com. So if you go to soulbird.com/I am light, the essays are there. They're free. And then, but you have to be a reader because it's 200 pages.
Okay.
But then there's links inside to songs and videos and all kind of stuff. And then also I have an app called Soulbird, and the essays are there too.
All right.
But I'm a writer and a thinker, and so I have opinions about everything.
So it's like, be careful for what you ask for. If you're asking India.arie for, hey, India, what's your opinion on this? All right, you wanted to know. I'm going to tell you.
I try to hold it in unless someone asks. But when someone asks, I'm like, yes, let's go.
Right.
But, that's in my music, too. That's why the lyrics are so intentional, and the stories I tell is because I have things I want to say.
Right, right. Twitter, where can we find you? So Twitter and Instagram.
All my stuff is at india.arie.
At India.arie.
All my stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you for coming through. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you in a long time. I think last time I saw you, I did radio in LA.
Oh,
and I think Donnie may have been there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been several years.
It's more than several.
Yeah, because when is the last time you worked with him? That was
long time.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, well, good to see you too.
Yes, thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
And would you mind singing anything, or would you not want to sing anything right now?
I always want to sing. What are we going to sing?
Anything, because this is going to be on The Quiet Storm. And so just having your voice on The Quiet Storm, my show will go to number 1. I know that. Yes. But it's not for that. I just love having your voice.
I feel like we get confused a lot about what we are and what we're not in a way that is unempowering. So I wrote this. Not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am